Good evening, everyone. Um,
Yeah,
I'm going to share my screen. I'll give you the GitHub repository. We've been using it. You're supposed to have it by now. So let me just open my Chrome and look for it. Let me get the link. All right, repositories. This is it. This is what we'll be using. Is Glory here? I can't see Glory. I can't find Glory here. Where are the ladies? The ladies are not here. Can I share my screen now? Are we ready?
yes,
All right, share my screen. I believe my screen, you can see it. This is the GitHub repository. We are in week two in a full stack journey. So open the week two. Yeah, you see the README file. Give me a minute. Right back. Okay, this is the repository week two. So today we are going to learn the fundamentals of React Express.js, and we are going to see how it fits in to the Mers full stack, that is MongoDB, Express, React, and Node. Why is Express.js among it? Why should we add Express.js in our full stack production? Why? So we're going to learn that today. We're going to see the reasons we're supposed to do that. And also today we are going to focus on setting up a server, or how to set up express.js server, and understanding the request response cycles. How do express get response a request from a client, and how does it respond to the request it got from the client? We'll break down the steps for installing Node.js, Express, and setting up a basic server. We'll also learn the role of MongoDB. That will be in the next class section. We'll learn how to connect MongoDB and build a real app step by step. We're going to build a real app and test it on a Postman. So it may be one day task, or we may go halfway and continue the next day. But that will not be today. Today we want to understand express.js. Okay, that is what we are here for. So go what are we going introduction to express.js and setting up a server. That's what we are going to learn today. So what are the objective of today's class? We are going to answer this question. What is express.js? Why, just like what I said earlier, why should we use express.js? And also we understand the how express.js get request from a client and return the request with a response. going to understand the circle, install Node using Node version manager. We're going to do that. Install Express and set up a server. So if you go to introduction to, I hope I'm audible. Am I audible? All right. Okay. If I'm, this is a class discussion. If I'm too fast, please, you raise your hands. Let us know on time so that we can catch up with you. Understand? We are. It's just, let's imagine like we are in a ship and we did not know that someone has fallen off from the ship. So you really have to scream, "Hey!" so that we can go back and pick you up. If we leave you there, shark, it's not there. There are a lot of fishes in the ocean that have not eaten for 2 days. So you need to speak up on time. So we go back. You are free to ask question at any time. Just raise up your hand or unmute the mic. So today's class is express.js master class. All right. We are going the complete web development framework guide. Just like what I said, we are focusing on introduction to express.js and setting up a server. We'll learn the fundamentals of express.js. There's also a link I think I should share. It should be, yeah, yeah, it should be, yeah. This is it. Yeah, go down. No, not this one. Introduction to okay, server side express.js. All right. It will take you not more than 2 hours to read this and study it. Starting from here, go through to the deployment. So I'm going to paste this link in your free time. Go step by step. Read this documentary. I'm promising you, when you read it is into how many parts? 7 parts. Read this documentary and you find yourself comfortable with express.js and know the logic. So this is it here. Please save it. This is it. All right, that's the link. Go through it. It will help you. Uh, what is express.js? That is the question. What is express.js? We are not history students. We could have started from the history, the date, the year, all this come up. We are developers, so we're going to go straight and answer it and use. I like using real world analogy to understand things, which I find very easy to understand. So we're going to use a restaurant kitchen to understand it. So think of, we are going to use real world example to understand what is express.js. I don't have a specific definition, so I'm going to use example. Think of express.js as the kitchen you walk into and the service the staff in a restaurant give you. Do you understand? Um, a restaurant. Let me go to the a restaurant is the browser. Okay, see the restaurant as the browser, as your Chrome, your Safari, your Brave, all the browsers you use. Do you understand? That is how you should see uh the kitchen restaurant. The kitchen restaurant is the browser. All right. Then I walk into the kitchen. That makes me a customer. but web developer call you client. Do you understand? Kitchen is the browser. Kitchen is your Chrome. I'm trying to explain expert.js how it works. Kitchen is the browser, the Chrome, the Safari, the Brave. You understand? And then you went to your MacBook and you opened your Chrome, or you went to your Windows, you open your Chrome, your Brave, or you went to your Android phone, you open your Chrome or your Opera Mini. Do you understand? When you are opening the Chrome, you have entered inside the kitchen. So you are a client, but restaurant will call you customer. All right. Then once you get there, you make a request. You go to the Chrome. This is I'm in the kitchen now. I'm in a restaurant. All right. The name of I'm in a restaurant. And then you make a request. You tell the restaurant, I want to buy uh mac and cheese with chicken and Pepsi drink. Do you understand? The same way you do that is just like going and say, I want Amazon website. Do you understand? You tell Chrome is the kitchen, is the restaurant. You tell Chrome you want to visit Amazon website. You are sending a request. I am sending a request to this Chrome browser to present Amazon website. Do you understand? So that is what a client does. Then the waiter, when you've ordered and you say you want macaroni and chicken with Pepsi, the waiter takes your order to the kitchen. So that is what I'm doing now. When I hit enter, Chrome takes this Amazon search query to the server. Do you understand? It takes it to the server. So that is what express.js does. That is what it does. It takes your request. Hey, uh Emmanuel wants mac and cheese with chicken and Pepsi. And the chef in the kitchen will take my order and then present what I ordered. So I asked for Amazon, it's giving me search result on Amazon. If I ask for B and is it BNB? Yeah, BNB. It will give me BNB. Look at the search is giving me. If I come here and I ask for Kenya, it's giving me Kenyan. I ask for Lagos, it's giving me Lagos. Do you understand? Any question now? Any question? I think there's no question. All right. So that is what expert.js does. It takes a request to the kitchen and the kitchen presents what you want. So so the process this takes, the steps the waiter takes to go to the kitchen and bring it back to you. The time it took for the waiter to do this is node.js. Node.js is the runtime, it is the engine. Do you understand? So in the kitchen is where they prepare the food. So in the kitchen is your server where the food is being prepared. The waiter brings it and give it to you. So that's the definition of expert.js. You don't really need to understand. You know, the expert.js can be defined. We are not writing an exam. They are not in a class where the teacher is going to give us exam. But we are here to understand. So the menu, when you go to the restaurant, they give you menu. We have chicken, we have jollof rice, we have Kenyan food, we have beans, we have jollof rice, we have porridge, we have this. So the menu is the API. You understand? So if I say I want porridge, I have made an API call. Express.js takes the API call to the server, which is the kitchen, and the kitchen gives it the API call and it returns it back to you. That is what Express.js does. So this is a plain. This is an explanation of Express.js. It's also known as a web framework. Express.js, if you're from Python, you see it as Django. Express.js is Django in terms of Python. You understand? So I'm going to open here. I think I'll create a new file and I'll call it let me call it sample. I'm going to use JavaScript just like how we have here. I'm going to use this is a Node.js stuff just to create a server that prints out a message that says that okay, I'm going to create a server. Do you understand? And then listen to that server. This is how it works. To create a server, you create a variable. The name of this variable is called HTTP. Then you use require. Require means you want to own. Require, yeah, owning. So you have require for this. And then you create another variable, you call it server. And it has the value of HTTP. This is HTTP. Then this is, should I call it a method? Yes, that is a built-in method in Node.js, a built-in method in Node.js that creates server and you pass in an argument. This is a function, an arrow function. If you know, yeah, ECMAScript 6, this is an arrow function that has two arguments in it, request and response. Remember, I told you Express take request and gives you response. You done that, and then you want to check if the request they asked is equals to this book, and also the request method is a get method. Do you understand? You are checking what they asked for. You're trying to say if the user asks for mac and cheese and he wants some pepperoni on it. So if he does it, that means yes. Respond and give the client what is in the menu. And then they pass the content type to be a JSON format. And then you give the response. You stringify it, you understand? Let's say we created these books. Let's say these books will be from the MongoDB. We just give an example from the MongoDB. So this is how you be creating if you are using Node without Express. This is how you be creating each URL, creating response and request, create response and request, which is going to take a lot of time. But with Express, all this code, look at it. Express makes it so much easier by doing this. It will you just create a variable called Express, constant variable. And remember, you use a require to. This is how they create a server, an app, a Express.js app. This is the method. You first of all create a variable and you that is going to hold the express you've installed via npm. That's held it, and then you create another variable called app. So this app is just going to inherit this variable called express. So you have created your app, an express.js app. Now to handle request and response. Anytime a client asks for a request, the local, let's say the local host is the port is this 3000. Anytime a user asks 3000 slash books, it's going to return what is in the content of the books. Do you understand? Any question so far? Any question? I hope it's getting understandable now. It's not complex. All right. All right. So have you see how Express made it easier? But look at the kind of code here. Express will just reduce it for you. Remember, this app is our express.js because it inherits from this variable that is holding this express we installed. So you now said he used this to listen to a port 3000. All right. So what is the key benefit of learning express.js? Why should we use express.js in our in our modern web development? One is for speed, just like here. If you use plain JavaScript in Node, remember JavaScript is a plain Node.js is built with JavaScript, so it's plain JavaScript. But if you use express.js, it reduces the syntax for you. It reduces it to this, which is for speed development. All right. Let's say you are someone who knows JavaScript and want to concentrate on JavaScript. You want to build your web app with JavaScript. You don't want to add Java. You don't want to add Python. You don't want to add six plus plus. You just want to build your web app with JavaScript. The best web framework you should use is Express.js because it was built for it, and also it's faster. And Express.js has middleware architecture. Middleware architecture is what works for the aching, that works for the login when you want to log a user, authentication, permission. That is what the middleware. Middleware is like let me use a real world example. Middleware is like the security man. You want to go and visit a celebrity in his house. Once you walk into the gateman at first will say, "Can I see your passport?" Or let me say airport. Yes, you want to you have a visa, all right, and you want to buy your flight ticket to go to maybe South Africa, United States, Canada. And once you get to the airport where they book ticket, you show them your visa. So first of all, verify if your visa is real. That is middleware. Middleware will verify if if the user is available in the database, if the user data, the email and password you are giving, it is real. So that is what it's going to do. It will authenticate it. Then if it is real, then you can pass. You can log in. That is what middleware does. And also for routing, it helps you. Routing is the URL. URL is the www, all this stuff here, the address. I call URL address. You want to come to my house, you need a URL. I need to go to, why this is an address. I want to go to Amazon. Amazon address on the server is amazon.com. So this is a URL. It is an address. You see, I gave this browser an address. That is why it took me here. So URL is an address. That is how to understand URL. It's an address. And also it is great for API. You can build your own API when you are working with Mongo.js. So let us understand just like what I told you, Express.js take request and it gives you response. Let us understand the circle again using real world example. Let's say you walked into a pizza store. You I walked in me, I walked into a pizza store. So I walked into the play to pizza store. The pizza store will be a client. A client is a browser, DOM. So I walked into the pizza store, which is the browser. And then I told the browser I want Amazon website. That is it here. I want Amazon website. I've made a request. Do you understand? So the app, okay, let's say we are using app, you're not going to the store. I have Amazon installed in my phone. So the app takes my delivery, and the app was worked. You can use Express.js to build mobile app too. It say it's good for web development and app development too. So Express.js will take my request to the pizza restaurant, which is just like what it did. Uh, it takes it to the Amazon website. Do you understand? And then the it gives me a response. I say, "This is the Amazon website you asked. I have searched through the server and I found one. That is why this address is always unique. There is no other website in this world that is going to have this URL. Your URL is a website identifier. That is what they use to identify websites. So only this page that have this URL, only this page in this world that have this URL. It's okay. So anywhere you are and you put this, you're going to get this page. So it told me, look at what you asked for. That is what is happening here. So the browser request Express server. So when you, let's say for an instance, I want to log in here. I go to the uh sign in. All right. This is where middleware processing comes in. It handles the router, the URL. This is the URL. It handles it and then do database query. And the database query we are using is MongoDB. It will check if there is an email in the database that have this or that have this. If there's an email in the database that have this, a user in the database that have this, and I click continue, it will tell me, okay, yes, there is a database that have this email. Then it tell you put your password. Do you understand? This is where middleware comes in. Remember, the middleware process the email. If it works in the database, if it works, it gives me the response. So if I put my email and I sign in and everything works successfully, you see there was a your password is incorrect. This is middleware. Middleware will return and tell you this is a response. So there was a middleware check. My email was correct, but my password was not correct. Any questions so far? Any question? If
No,
if you just thumbs up. It's only Alan, Simon, nobody else. Do we all understand? Okay, okay, everybody understand. All right, everybody understand. Okay, everybody understand. So so let us use code and let us use a code and explain what I just. So a client makes a request, just like what I said. I make a request to Amazon.sign in. All right. Just so how do Express make the request? It makes the request by using app.get. When you're making a request, it is a get. And then the URL. This is the URL. See, the host is www.amazon.com, but anything that comes slash after is what I'm looking for. So I'm looking for, this is when you're looking for a book ID. You're making a request and you need a respond. All right. So but if you are filtering, if you want to filter just one specific item from a database, that is when the request will come with a parameter, which is in integer. So expert pass this automatically. So what does it do? It queries the database for a particular item that have an ID 123. Then it process the data and then give you a response. If you want it to be, if you want it to be in JSON, you do respond on JSON. If it's not in JSON, you do respond dot send, and then the book. Do you understand? Then it's going to give you a response back to the browser. This link here is when you click on it did not. I think I should just cancel it. So this, let me copy it. You also have it. This is a YouTube channel where you should watch, and it will help you understand how HTTP request works. So step by step guide. You need to my laptop is overheating. Okay, sorry. My MacBook was overheating. I had to sleep it. It was overheating. I have to sleep it. So before we start, we need to install our Node.js using Node Version Manager. Why should we use Node Version Manager to install Node.js? Because the multipurpose personality. Because your project may require different version of Node. So you can use this to switch from Node 16 to Node 24. Do you understand? It's so without this, you are stuck with one particular Node version. So there's a project you'll be working on. You don't want, and your project doesn't need Node 18. You need Node 24. You can just switch with Node version manager. All right. For if you're using MacBook, you will use just in your bash command, do this, copy this, and hit it in your bash command.
Emmanuel,
Yeah.
your screen is not showing.
Oh, thank you. So, all right, it's showing now. So if you want to install, but follow the GitHub repository, you will copy this, put this in your patch if you're using Windows, and hit enter. All right, and then you restart your terminal. Do this uh, to add it to your path. I think so. Then install the latest. If you want to install, you do have load this, install this to the long-term support version. So let me do it. I put that yes. I'll create a virtual environment. I love doing that. Virtual EMV. I hope I cannot have it here. VEMV. All right, and then I'll activate it. Source VEMV being activate. All right, it's activated. So I need to install this. You come here, put it to install the latest Node version manager. All right. For Windows, it's also here. I put for Windows, it's also here. And then you can say this, use blah 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 this for the latest one. So it's installing. It takes some time to install. So once you for to verify that I have it, you use node dash dash version to verify and all that. So to verify.
Emmanuel, I have a
This is for
question, yeah?
Windows. All right.
Emmanuel.
Do we all have Node installed in our computer first? Let me ask. Do you have Node? You should have Node. What's the question?
Oh, I want to know when you're asking for a response, is it mandatory to ask for the request also?
No, you first of all ask for a request. When you go to a restaurant, you tell them you want pizza. You're asking a request. The waiter is the
Yeah,
expert.js that goes to the kitchen or that goes to the baker and say a
yeah,
client have asked for a request,
yeah.
and then the kitchen gives you the pizza you want. So the
Okay.
pizza it gives you can be the JSON. Remember the
Yeah.
menu, a list of JSON.
So
So it gives
there's no part where you get a code with RS only without a request.
they do what?
There's no place you'll get someone asking for a what is it? There's no part you'll get a response without a request. Yes.
Yes, you cannot get a response without a request. Yes, you have
Okay.
to make a request to get a response. Yes.
So now it's mandatory to do the REQ before the RES. Yes.
Yes, you make a request before the response. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I was just curious.
So this is
Okay. Thank you.
all right. You have to make a request. So this is we should all know we have all this. You install Node. Let me check my Node version to check your Node. To know if you really have Node, just verify this. Wait, let me just do it here. Do Node dash dash version. I have Node installed. All right, and then npm. You do the same thing. npm dash dash version. I also have it installed in my computer.
Sorry, sorry, I have a question.
All right, let me connect.
Please, I just want to ask, what is the difference between npm and nvm?
Why did I?
What is the difference between npm, Node Package Manager, and Node Version Manager, NVM?
Okay, just like what I said. I said this Node version manager is what you use to switch from Node version 20 to Node version 16, depending on the project you are working for. If your project, so you need to have Node version manager to be able to switch between Node. Okay, do you understand now?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, you need to have these to switch between. So both of them are installed. Let me off my Bluetooth. So why see what you see? Look at it. Old project might break with new this. You understand? You need a version manager to change. So you can watch this video. Look at it here. You can watch the video, reference video, watch it. So step two, we need to install uh, expert.js and set up a server. And the server should give us a response of hello world. You understand? So let's build our first system. Let me come here, clear this. Where's my okay? All right, clear this. Come here. So they say we should do what? Well, first of all, make a directory. All right, and then the directory, we'll make a directory. We'll call it my Express app. After we make the directory, we'll move into the directory by doing the cd. We all know that, right? So I'm going to check where I am first before I make a directory. pwd. Okay, I'm in this. I'll do my ls. Okay, I'll cd to the 2. All right, I'll ls to see what's up there. All right. Okay, so here I'm going to make my directory. I'll make directory. Okay, that is a folder, and I'll call it my Express app. All right. If I do ls, I've seen it. My Express app. Look at it here. In my week 2, I've seen it here. It is here. It's empty. All right. So I'm going to cd. I'm going to cd to my Express app. All right. So once we are there, if you are following this, next step is to just like how you initialize Git in your project, so you can push it to GitHub. We are going to initialize npm. So you say np npm init. You can do npm init and enter if you want to set it for your set the default, customize the way it looks like. Or if you don't want to, you can just leave it like put /y flag, which is going to set everything for you automatically. That is why we'll put y flag there. And then it will do the customizing by itself automatically. All right. So once you've done, what is happening here? If I open here, I'm going to see package.json, which becomes my. This is my project configuration file. This is where I'm going to configure and tell how it's going to run my project when I do npm build, npm this. You understand? So once you're done with that, I'll clear this for now. And the next thing we need to do is install npm. My battery should not go down. Npm install express. All right, step by step, no pressure, and then you hit enter. You can put /g if you want this to be global, or you can do /save dev if you want to work with it only in the development part, so that when you push it, it will not go to the production. All right, so sometimes you'll be seeing all this. Sometimes you see this. This is when you want to use. Why when we use this save dev is when you are installing. You want to install something to test the project, and you don't want it to be pushed to the server you're deploying your website. You add this. But when you add /g is when you want to install it globally in your computer. All right. So I just want to install it to my virtual environment that I'm using, and I'll hit enter. Okay, someone has a question. What's the question? Are you
Yeah, yes, please. Okay, so I want to ask that. I want to ask that about the installation of the Express and the Node. So is it, do you have to install it per project, or when you install it, it is default for every project that you are going to do?
So if I had done all this installation globally, adding G, I don't think I may really need to install them in my virtual environment. You understand? That's why I told you, when you add G, you are installing it globally. It's like creating a global function that you can call, or a global class. Do you understand? But I don't have it.
Okay,
That's
so
go on. Please go on. Hello?
oh, sorry. Okay, so if you install it globally, so maybe if you want to do another project, so how are you going to, I mean, record the express into that project, or do you also have to, I mean, install the express again in that new project?
You just need to initialize your what is it called, your npm, by doing npm init. Do you understand? You can call your, you can require, you can just start a project and do const express, require express. It will work because you have express installed globally. You understand now? You can import folders without installing anything. You can import Python import this from this. You can import without installing Django. For example, you have to install Django in your visual environment to work with Django, but if you have Django installed globally, you can import Django once you just create an app. Do you understand now? You can start working with Django by saying import Django from this, or import any this thing from Django. Do you understand? That is installing it
Okay,
globally.
okay.
Yeah.
So I understand. So in that case, like, which one is best recommended? I mean, is it to install it global or install it per project?
Not to cause confusion to, because I install it to your machine and it may cause conflict sometimes. So it's better you create virtual environment. The best practice is each project you are creating, create a virtual environment. Some people use Docker. I'm not yet to know Docker. So the one I know is virtual environment. Create a virtual environment for each of your project. So everything lives there.
Okay. Thank you very much. Please, you can proceed.
All right. So we have installed Express, and we have installed, what else again? We have initialized npm in our project. That is what I gave us this. And then this is, if you go to dependencies, no, it will be here. Is it here? Oh yeah, look at it. We have Express installed. This is the version. So these dependencies, this packing.json, I see it as dependencies. I see it as requirement.txt in Python. All the stuff you installed is the dependencies, the requirement.txt. That's what Python call it. Do you understand? That's why I see it. Then the next thing to do, because if I install the next project, it's going to be there. If I in npm, if I do npm install um this dash d is node, is it what they, how they pronounce it, is it node mono? This helps to prevent, makes your work to for automatic refresh when you're working. Do you understand? Your work will be refreshing by itself automatically. All right, just do this and you hit your enter, so that your auto restart button and refresh, so it will just install. Wait for it to install. So what I'm going to do, this is my Express app. I'm going to open it in a new uh, let us continue. I wanted to open it in new Visual Studio Code. So it has worked successfully. I'll clear the screen. So if I come to my, just like what I told you, just like requirement.txt, if I come here, I'm going to see it. Why is it not? Look at it. I've seen it. So it's all here. Look at comma, so it's all here. So that's the package.json to check if it was installed successfully. Then next thing we're going to do, I'm going to create a file, and I'm going to call it. So I'm going to call it server.js. So this is where we are going to create our first server that is going to work with response and request and response. Do you understand? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to import. Remember, we have installed uh, Express. We are going to import Express here. So how do we import Express? Python will say import this from this, but here we do const according to the variable, and we're calling it Express because this variable is going to import Express. And you use this method called is a built-in require, and then we'll call our Express we have installed. Look at it. That's giving me the dependencies I've installed. So it's Express I want here. So once you're done, always remember to put your semicolon. We have imported it. Now we are going to create an app that's going to hold the Express. So to create the app that's going to hold the Express, we do const another variable, and we call it app. And the app is going to inherit from this variable called Express. And remember, this Express have our Express we just installed. Okay, now next thing we're going to do is we are going to create a port. We're going to define a port. All right, we're going to define a port. Remember, a local host is always 1 point. Everything looks in anything that runs in your computer is in local host, but we want to create a port inside the local host. So to create a port, we also create a variable that's going to hold the port. So we are going to call that variable port. Do you understand? And then we want to run on a port 3000. Any question here? No question, all right. So now let us create route. Route is the URL. Let us create route. The first one I'm going to create is the get app or the homepage. When someone visits port 3000, the first thing they're going to do. Remember, this app is our express that inherits from here. So remember, we have the dot get is when you're sending a request. So app dot get. All right. So what am I going to and what do I need to get? I want to get any URL that comes after. Immediately I do the 3000 slash. Do you understand? That is a slash. If I do slash home, that means I'll do 3000 slash home. You understand? 3000 slash home. That's the home page. Or now these days, home page is always slash. They don't put home there again. All right. This is the URL. I've defined the URL. Now I remember Express is request and response. So I am going to create that function. I'm going to create an arrow function, which is that have two arguments, request and response. Okay, is an arrow function equals to and greater than. This is an arrow function, and then you open your curly bracket. That is how to define an arrow function. I've defined an arrow function, so I'm going to request what the customer asks for. So remember, if I ask for home page, I'm requesting it should do what? Deliver the home page. This request is going to ask for home page, all right? And then the response is going to give me the home page. It's going to give me the home page, okay? All right, so that's how it works. So now get let us give the response. Remember, this is the response. The request is this home page. So let us give them the response. How do we want the home page to look like when they ask for it? So we are creating it out. Remember, we are using .send because we don't want a JSON format. If it's in JSON, we'll do .json. All right. Okay, but we don't want it to be a JSON format. We do .send. All right, and then this is it. Then this is where we are going to create what they should see. First thing, we are going to create an HTML header. All right, we're trying to design it. When I say, we'll give it, we say a header that say, welcome to, what should I say? Welcome to express.js introduction. Okay, that is the header I'm going to give. So I'm still going to create more. Then I can create a paragraph. You can create anything here now. Remember, this is the respond. How do you want the respond to look like? That is what you are creating. And let's say our, you can say here is the response view you asked for. Why am I getting error? Am I supposed to get an error? No. Okay, trying to tell me to wrap it like this. But there's nothing wrong doing it this way. There's nothing wrong, Jerry. Alright. No, 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 no. Sorry. Sorry, let me do it this way. There's nothing wrong. Please ignore it. There's nothing wrong with it. Then here, I'm going to create a URL that has a list item. Alright, so, and the first one is going to have an anchor href. Okay, I've closed it. So here I'm going to say this, the view is going to have this that say view, let me call it home page. All right, so this is where the URL anchor is going to live. So I'm going to call it like this, slash home. You understand? Do you understand? Then you can repeat the same thing for here. You can call this thing about page. Then you change it to about, and all that, and all that. This is for this, this is for this, and this is for this. You put your semicolon here, and you put your semicolon here. I hope this is correct. Just ignore this. So let us check if this is working. All right. Let us app.listen. Let us test this first. App.listen before we continue. App.listen. And then this listen is going to inherit our port that is running 3000. Okay. And we'll create an arrow function. We'll create an arrow function that has no argument in it. All right. This is how to create an arrow function. We've created an arrow function. Still work the same way. And then we want to console want to view if it's working. Console.log. Server is running. Alright, so let us try it. I'm going to run ls server.js. Okay, I'll do node server.js. Syntax error. Oh, I'm having an error from the H1 unexpectedly. So let me correct it. No problem. Expected. Okay. All right. I think this is it. Okay. Let me clear it and I'll run again. H1. Why am I getting error? Here is the response you asked for. Unexpected token. Can someone help me what's going on here? Supposed to give me server is running, but it's giving me unexpected token. This is it here.
But
Your error is
line 13.
from line 10.
Was it supposed to be length or ask?
What did you say?
I'm asking line 13. You had written up dot ask. Then now I'm seeing it's up dot length.
Okay. Okay. App.get, right? Yes. App.get. Yes. Yes. App.get. Then let me try again. Still giving me an error. But let me just copy what we have here. This is it here. I hope I was able to. Which quote? Okay, it should be in quotes, right? It's true because it's a string. Okay, from the H1.
Yeah.
Okay,
At
close here,
UL.
right?
At UL. At UL.
It's not working. No. Okay, then I'll do this one. Let me join this together. But wait, let me put it here. Let me understand this. This will come down here. Put it this way. Let me put it this way. It's still the same thing, right? I want to share my screen. My laptop disconnect. So I'm going to. I've fixed the error. So this is it. So this is it. We created our variable, which is Express, that require from Express. We created a variable app that inherits from this variable Express. We created a port 3000. Remember, Express is all about request and response, right? So what we've requested for this homepage slash, let me just put it slash home so that we're going to sit for slash home. All right, slash home. So that anytime we go to the port slash home, we are going to get this response. Welcome to this, and this is the response, a simple HTML we created. All right. Then we created another API. This one is API routes that consists of book. This book can be from, we create, you say that the URL is slash book, and here we created an arrow function that's request and response. Inside the function block, we created a variable called books. And if you remember a MongoDB, this is how they create a MongoDB document. Insert menu, insert menu, not insert one, insert menu. You create an array that holds JSON, Bison format, title ID1, title this, author. If you remember, this is MongoDB document. This is how to create a document. MongoDB, you can create more if you want. Inside an array that is for books, and then we say JSON respond in API format. Then because we want to return this in API format, we use, remember this is Bison, so it will have to be returned in a JSON format. So we do rest, but here we use rest.json. We did not use .send because we are returning a JSON format. Then we now give it success true. You can put 200, which is the same thing, or you can put true. And then data should be the book, and then the count, how many lengths we have to render. This is where we start the server. We do app to listen to our port, which is port 3000, and we created an arrow function that have a console message which is showing running this. So if I click on this, it will give me the JSON format. But if I click on slash home, which is the home, we're going to get the HTML. Welcome to my Express server. Your server is running. You understand? Then view books. This one that we have, view your books, that is running slash book. Remember, we created the URL here, which is app.getBook. So this anchor is holding this request. That means when I click it, I'm going to get a JSON format of books. When I click it here, I'm going to get a JSON format of books because we are returning it in JSON. But if we do .send, then we're going to create. We don't even need this. We're going to create, what is it called? An HTML. An HTML that's going to have these books. We don't need this variable here. We're just going to create a URL create something like this. Let us know you JSON. Comment this. All right, and then dot send, just like how we did here. We use backticks. I'm going to clean this curly bracket. All right, and then I'll hit enter. I'll use 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll use these backticks. All right, and I'll paste my HTML. Then I'll say welcome to the bookstore. I can say here welcome to the book. Welcome to the bookstore. All right, and then here we can do we can name book. One of the book can be Jason. The other book can be uh, Python. Create this again. The other book can be JavaScript. I don't want to use JSON format. All right. And then I save. This is what that is starting the server and running the server. App.listen to port. So this node mon is what that is auto refreshing our server. If I save, it will auto restart. And then I refresh. Then if I refresh and I click on view books, I'm going to get a HTML that says welcome to the bookstore. The server is running. Then look at the books. This your server is running. You can change it and you say a list of books. You can change it to list of books. And then I refresh. Any question? This is how to create a simple server. A simple server. Just a very simple server. Then next time we'll go into building a real project. Let me explain it before I'm able to shut down. Before you start, you need to install, you need to initialize npm, just like how you initialize Git by doing npm init -y. Why you don't want to do a default settings. Once you have done that, you will install Express, npm install Express, and also you will install node-mon. The node-mon will help your server to auto refresh or restart, and you create a JavaScript file. You call it server.js. This is your dependencies and your settings. They live here. All right. Then you create your server.js. You need to create a variable. Let me start. Can my battery do? Let me try if my battery will do it. Let me start over again. Let me start over again. You need to create. You need to create a variable. You call that variable express, and then you tell it to you import. It requires to import the express you've installed. Okay, you put your semicolon. All right, and then you create your app const app, which is going to inherit from express. Okay, we are done with that. Now we need to create your port you are listening to. I'm going to give that port 3000. All right. So once you've done that, this express is wrong. We're going to put this. You give your port 3000. Once you've done, now you have to create. We need to. Let me start over again. Now we need to create our response. Okay, to create your response, you use, remember, this app is our Express because it's inheriting from where we imported Express. So our app have everything. We use .get. Remember, you can use .get. You can use the there is this one, the put. This is to get what we need. We want to get if we want to make a request to the server. All right, you do this. Once you've done this, next thing to do is where is the URL? What are you requesting for? I am requesting for /home. Okay, we've done that. What else again? I want to create a function. What kind of function that has two arguments? It has request and response. Okay, this is how to create a function, and then you give your equals to and your greater than. This is your function and your function block. Inside your function block, what do you need to do? This is where you send our response. Okay, this is where you send your response. We want to send the response. What do you want to send? We want to send a HTML template. A HTML template. This is where we'll copy this HTML template and then you paste it here. Do you understand? Let me clean all these ones that is here. We've created the response. So now we need to tell take this down, so we'll not be distracted. We need to tell this to listen to the port. Remember, we've created the port. Now we have to tell our app to listen to our port we've created, which is 3000. We now tell our app, hey, Express app, I want you to listen to a port. All right, I want you to listen to our port. This will carry the port we've created, which is up here, port 3000. And what else? We'll create a function, JavaScript function equals to and greater than. All right, this is how to create JavaScript function. We created a inside the block. Here we can give a console a, a message. Python will call it messages. We'll give a message console.log to check our server is running. So we can just say server is running. All right. Then we can delete this one. Server is running. So as long as you've seen this message, you know that yes, you have successfully created a server. Then remember is localhost. This is the URL. Then just copy it. Localhost /3000. Come here. Localhost. The localhost. Then remember we're on a port 3000. And now I'll put my /home. Remember I use home. Enter. Welcome to my Express server. This is it. All right. But if I use something that is not included, I'm going to get an error. Cannot get because it's not existing. The request I made is not existing, but this one is existing. That is why I'm getting a response. Any questions so far? This is how to create a simple Mongo Express server. Any questions so far? Any question? If you come here now, yeah, I think there's no question. If you come here, not this Amazon, You come here. This is it. This is the configuration we make. You use. Remember, if we want to, because we've configured our dependency, that is why we can say npm run dev. Look at the dev. We said anytime we use dev, well, we want to use node mon, not so that it can be auto refreshing by itself. But if you do npm start, we have to be refreshing our server for it to work. So how does Express, Node, and MongoDB work together? Let's say, for example, we have React. React is what displays in the browser. Let's say this is going to be when we start working with React. This here is going to be with this is going to be React. Do you understand what we see? React is going to be the client. This all this write up, the design, the animation, the tailwind design. That is what you're going to see. So you go to the browser, you make a request. Your expert.js goes through the server using the route. Remember the route we use here is slash home. All right, it goes to the server and search for it in the server. JavaScript is the engine, the process it takes for it to go to the server and give a response. That is what JavaScript or Node.js is doing. Then MongoDB, when a user wants to log in, it search inside the MongoDB if there's a registered user in the MongoDB. If there is, it tell you yes, it is a user. If there is not, it is not a user. Then, if you are fetching for list of students, it returns the list of students, and then it displays it. It displays it to the browser. This is what is displaying to the browser. So um, the next time we're having class, we are going to build a library app, a complete library app. Here is more examples you can try on your own. Just do app.get. This is for um, let's say if you want to use asynchronous JavaScript. It waits before it performs its action. You do while it waits. You can add error if someone try something, it doesn't work, throw this or not throw this. You create a constant variable, you give big ID. We use these parameters for ID. When your requests have an ID, you use parameters. If you have done your lesson 2 test, the test, there was a question that asked about parameters. It's for querying is it yeah, for querying ID. That is what it is used for, these parameters. And this, you remember we created book will not be book.find. This is when you want to find a particular book ID. You use this. All right. This is for JSON if you want to use JSON. And then this is the error, book not found. It's just introduction we're doing today, how to start up a server. Then tomorrow, that is it. Then tomorrow, no, is it tomorrow? No, I don't work on Sunday. Maybe on Monday. Yes, on Monday we are going to build a real app, which is supposed to be here. Look at it. Why is it not working again? We are going to build a real app, but don't worry, I've prepared the app. We're going to build a real app on Monday. Any question? Can we on your own? Can you start up a express.js server on your own? Can you do that? Anybody? Is anybody floating? Okay, so that is what we learned today. Tomorrow, next in our next class. Okay, look at it. In our next class, it is working here now. In our next, okay, I'm not supposed to be here. is here. In our next class, we are going to build a complete web development web framework, uh, which is going to. So we are going to start early on. More is Mr. Alam, when will you take your AI class? Yes, Daniel have a question. Hmm? How about on Wednesday? Maybe let me take Wednesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Daniel, go on.
Yes, please. I have a question. Okay. So, like with this one, if you have been able to set this up, how do you integrate it to maybe a front end website, like a website, normal website? How do you integrate this? So, maybe for an example, like if you created a login page, if you, how will you be able to integrate this one to it for it to function?
Okay, for you to give the response, you give the response to React.js. React is what is going to display the template. You understand? Then, once a user puts his email and password, Express.js takes that request to your Mongo database. And then the Mongo database is going to check if the credential exists. If it doesn't exist, it gives you an error. You understand now? Now, what we just did today is creating um, a server to run Express server. That is what we just did today. That is what we did today. Next class, we are going to build a library bookstore. Any question again? I think I'm going to join with my phone. My MacBook is down.